There's a lot of buzz around Pokemon VGC right now because the 2023 rule set has been posted and it's absolute madness. So we have Pokemon legality to talk about, rule changes, and an open team sheet. You can see everything about your opponent's team before battle except for the stats, and I've got some thoughts on that. So if you enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like, share it with your friends, and comment your thoughts down below. But let's start off with the drama around Pokemon legality. So a lot of people have caught on to this as a troll post, but there's also a lot of sincere reactions to this because people are trying to leverage that, oh, Genning means there's no competitive advantage and the Pokemon company has admitted it. This is a flat out and complete lie, but some people are taking the rules and running away with it. Fortunately, Rule 4.3 is still in here. The use of external devices, such as a mobile app, to modify or create items or Pokemon in a player's battle team is expressly forbidden. These rules are also mirrored with the online play, so if you do any multiplayer inside the games, even casual between friends, these rules effectively still apply. No hacking! The company doesn't want you to cheat in their game, and hackers and cheaters and losers and scumbags can't deal. It's wild. Players found to have Pokemon or items that have been tampered with may receive a disqualification, regardless whether the Pokemon or items belong to that player or were traded for. You get a hacked Pokemon from some rando. Cheating. You get a hacked Pokemon off the Wonder Trade. Cheating. WolfeyVGC says he gets his Pokemon from fans. Still cheating. It does not get any more explicit or black and white than this, but people will still argue it. Now, I do have a problem with these rules, and it goes back to like my older videos and older coverage, which is also why I'm still so adamant against cheating. Because the old rules used to say the use of external devices to modify or create Pokemon is expressly forbidden. Players found to have Pokemon or items that have been tampered with will be disqualified. And that is going to come up as we go into the other rules. So, unfortunately, so much cheating and corruption took over VGC, which, again, is why my coverage is so strong on this issue, that they've been forced to change it to May receive a disqualification. You can still easily get disqualified for it, though. But these rules had to be changed because it's too large of a scandal and bad publicity if something is actually done about the immense amount of cheating in VGC, which is also why VGC is more dead than ever. It's all hackers. There's no reason to participate in it, and we can go deeper into the rules about it. So let's talk about this. Manual team checking. This section outlines known examples of illegal manipulation which may not be caught by the hack check. And that's another thing people say, well, if it passed the hack check, that means it's okay. No, hackers take hacked devices into the tournaments to get the hack check and reverse engineer it. Or, after like enough trial and error and just running hacked Pokemon into the hack check until you start getting things through, it's still cheating. It's still explicitly against the rules. So we have Section 1. Any players found to have one of the Pokemon described below in their battle team have committed a major infraction. What is a major infraction penalty? Game loss. So even if you bring a Pokemon that has no discernible competitive advantage but can only exist through hacking, so we have the examples, a Pokeball which it cannot be found in, a Pokemon that lists it was obtained from an egg but is in a Master Ball or a Cherish Ball, so improper location IDs. A Pokemon is shiny but of a species that cannot be found shiny. Now notice how it says a Pokemon that is just generated shiny or like modified to be shiny. That's not on here. That's actually just a hard hacked Pokemon. A funny thing that came out with Pokemon Sword and Shield is that shininess is an objective competitive advantage that has even been acknowledged by Sejun Park, because the animation time added can make you win in time scenarios. We have a Pokemon with a nickname or OT that indicates it was not obtained via normal gameplay or official promotions, so anything else that's kind of sus with the Pokemon's data, that Pokemon is hacked, and even though it has no discernible competitive advantage, will be removed from your team. So offending Pokemon should be removed from battle team. If you have fewer than the minimum tournament entry requirement, the player must be disqualified. In all cases, if offending Pokemon or held items should be prohibited from play, the appropriate penalty should be applied. This results in having fewer than 4 usable Pokemon. It is upgraded to a severe infraction, disqualification. Severe infractions also include a Pokemon on the player's team also appearing in Section 2 of the Manual Team Checking Appendix. Now, this is the, hard, impossible to obtain Pokemon. It has unnatural stats. It has an ability that it can't normally have. So if for some reason a Wonder Guard Electros makes it through the hack check, this catches all that and says anything that is hacked against natural gameplay is just immediate disqualification. Any indication via official tools that a Pokemon has been illegally manipulated, such as a player's team failing the electronic hack check. Now, this is not the only way to receive a disqualification through this rule. It is only an example, so if any modification has been detected, you receive disqualification. I find it crazy that WolfGlick has not received any punishment or disqualification or any retroactive bans or punishment for his multiple hacked Pokemon infractions that have been proven. This just straight up goes against the severe infraction rule. Wolf has used multiple Pokemon in multiple events that can only exist through modifying game data, and this goes back throughout his entire career. So that goes back to the whole corruption thing, because as we saw with Ray Rizzo, he had a Dream Ball Aegislash. Now, for the rules of the time, he should have been immediately disqualified from Nationals for just the cosmetic Pokeball change, because the rules say you will be disqualified, and as we saw, even this part about, the no discernible competitive advantage still backs into 4.3. And the only reason this cosmetic rule exists is because tournament organizers and play Pokemon staff are provably corrupt. I caught so many people hacking that once again, they lose their entire scene if anything is enforced. If you want to see the best video I've ever made, it's this one right here. I'll put up a card, or you can find it in description, or some other stuff. It just really exposes all the problems with VGC and corruption. And because the Pokemon community is so toxic and filled with idiots, it needs to be made clear that this is the Pokemon company confirming that any kind of generation or modification of Pokemon is a competitive advantage. If you make a Pokemon legit and then change the ball, that gets the Pokemon disqualified. But if the Pokemon is hacked from the ground up, that's it. It doesn't matter if it has naturally obtainable stats. There's no such thing as legal stats on a hacked Pokemon. If it has naturally obtainable stats, but was genned, that action does create a competitive advantage. Therefore, you are under the Team Error Severe disqualification rules. It's not hard to understand. Cheating is wrong. So what the rules show is that cheating in Pokemon has gotten so out of control, the rules are a complete mess to respond to that. And then there's also some other funny stuff that's going on, because if we go back to this misinformation post, we have a 9th Worlds 2022 player, 2x Worlds Day 2, 1x Regional Champion, 4x Regional Top Cut, admitting to cheating. Please do not share misinformation, so going back to this, even if it's a joke or anything, I've been DQ'd for this, and I don't want it to happen again to anybody else. I am absolutely certain this top VGC player is still hacking their Pokemon. They're just doing it in a way to not get detected and caught. We just saw the Pokemon 2022 World Champion 100% get confirmed as a cheater, so things haven't gotten any better. Acknowledgement that genning is illegal and you have to get better at cheating your teams so you don't get caught like this top VGC player has. This is also one of the many reasons as to why VGC is completely worthless and it's not worth competing in. This includes Battle Spot doubles, because the only reason to really play the doubles format is to tie it into VGC. Also the online competitions for championship points. Championship points being another massive reason as to why VGC is worthless. Then we have the most prolific cheater with WolfeyVGC still going unpunished. There is no competitive integrity. Now, does the open team list add to that list of VGC being a worthless format? 2023 Video Game Championship season will utilize an open team list format. Players are required to provide a legible and accurate list of the Pokemon that compromise their team. All Pokemon information provided must be made available to the opponent except for stats. Also, it means that the enforcement and penalties for an inaccurate team list are more strict, which is just kind of annoying. But does this ruin Pokemon? Now on the surface, yes, it does. There's no competitive integrity, there's no surprises, there's not as much reward, if any reward anymore, to team building, having unique movesets, catching your opponent off guard. You can just see everything, and then also gives you more time to prepare your strategy against it, and it just really sounds worthless and ugly. However, there is a good reason as to why this exists. Now, it might sound crazy, but I saw this reply, and it all kind of made sense. As someone who hasn't played VGC competitively, can someone explain why an open team list is a good thing? Because yeah, your initial reaction is, oh, that's the worst thing ever, I'm never playing this game. And then it got a lot of support out of nowhere. It seems like it takes most aspects of the game out and comes down to who can predict and mind game the other better. It evens the playing field because some people have historically had scouts who tell them information about the opponent's teams ahead of time. So there was so much unsporting conduct that once again, it has to completely break the format and rules. And I mean, we've seen this all the time in various aspects of Pokemon back in the past. Like someone went, this random person on the Pokemon Showdown ladder plays a little bit like WolfeyVGC. I'm going to have an admin of Pokemon Showdown who also actively participates in VGC dox this user. So the Pokemon community is so toxic and desperate for any kind of advantage. We have seen team scouting go as deep as cyberstalking and doxing people. And also it means if you bring a crew or you have some friends at the event and you're also really toxic yourselves, you have a scouting advantage against other players. This dude beat me, I'm going to tell his whole team to my friend who's going up against him later in the tournament. This also goes back to how the Pokemon rules have been bastardized in so many countless ways that it used to be in like just standard play Pokemon. All TCG, all VGC, it said no timer stalling. Playing the clock and not your opponent was considered globally unsporting in VGC and also had a specific VGC rule. Even after being removed from the VGC rules, it was still in the general rules, and eventually that was removed even after we had seen multiple offenses on stream go unpunished. So, again, just so much corruption that like, well, we gotta look the other way at cheating. Oh, we gotta look the other way at unsportingness. Oh, we invested everything into our poster child WolfeyVGC, who has just hacked throughout his career more times than we can count. Gotta look the other way at that. And then that goes back into my greatest video I've ever made, where I break down the tournament officials that have no idea what's going on, and they just call Pokemon 1s and 0s, therefore cheating is okay, just don't make it obvious. So the spirit of Pokemon and code of conduct has been completely eroded because of corruption that forces rules like this against players that did nothing wrong instead of actually punishing the wrong players, and you wouldn't even have these issues because they're all hacking and cheating their Pokemon anyways. So if you just enforced Rule 4.3 and not have to like play all this Weasley stuff, not may be disqualified for having a Pokemon different ball. No, you must be disqualified for having Pokemon in a different ball, because even though it has no advantage, that's a hacked Pokemon that needs to be removed, and therefore that's just a sign of a cheater. The rest of their team is hacked anyways, so their one slip-up should be the sign that shows they have a hacked team, therefore must be disqualified from competitive play. There's no bans or long-term punishments that go out. So yeah, no wonder everything is unplayably toxic and unsporting, and if you're not cheating, you can't even participate in VGC. Awesome. Way to go. So that's the breakdown of the rules. This is still stupid, but it has justification, but exposes all the problems with VGC, on top of the problems that have only been getting worse and worse and worse for longer than I can count or remember at this point. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Also, please share this with everyone you know that plays Pokemon so they can get informed. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. If you guys enjoy the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.